In order for you to navigate through this presentation smoothly, you're going to need to learn a couple of things. For one, you're going to need to make sure that you have two different windows open on your browser. What I mean by this is you'll see that I have a tab up here that says Writing Workshop Remote. That's telling me that this window is showing me this website, and this is where you're going to be looking at the presentation. On your next slide, you will see a screen that looks like this. What you're going to be directed to do is follow this link for THERAP services to log in. Once you get to this page, you're going to click on the link for THERAP services. What you will notice is that a new window has opened in my browser. I still have the Writing Workshop training here, and now I have THERAP services login here. When I want to go back to the presentation to get more information, I need to click on the window that says Writing Workshop Remote to pull the presentation up again, and then I'm going to use my arrow key to resume where I left off in the presentation. You're going to need to maneuver between the Writing Workshop training and THERAP in order to make this training effective for you and so that you can get real life practice. Now that I've shown you that, what I want to show you is on the next slide it's going to look like this. What you're going to be directed to do is you're going to be directed to follow this link that's going to take you to THERAP. Now, if you're logging in from your computer at home or a non-SSVA computer, you can get to your login by entering www.therapservices.net, and that's going to take you to a home page that looks like this. And if you're logging in this way, then what you're going to do is come over here to the secure login. You're going to click on that link and it's going to take you to the login page. What I've done in the training is I've removed the need for all of that. So when you hit the link on your remote training, it's going to bring you directly to a place where you can log in. Also, if you're using a Chromebook for Support Services of Virginia, when you click on the THERAP tab, it's going to automatically bring you here. Let's go ahead now and look at how we log into THERAP for the very first time. Each of you has been given a unique login name and a default password to start. When you get ready to log in a few minutes, you're going to again follow the link on your Prezi. It's going to take you to this page. Make sure that you leave both windows open at the top as you're doing this. You're going to enter your login name. You're going to enter in your password. You need to make sure your provider code is entered in there, which is SSVA, all caps, 1-VA. If you have a scrap piece of paper, you may want to write this provider code down because you will need it. You're then going to click Login. You may get a message that looks like this. Anytime that THERAP services need to give us messages or anytime that we want to communicate with you internally here at Support Services, you'll get something called a splash message. A splash message is a message that's sent out to all employees who are users on THERAP by an administrator. The THERAP services messages will always show up before company messages, but you do need to some of them you have to acknowledge that you've read them, so there'll be a checkoff box saying that yes, I've seen this. This one can give me the option not to see it again. Once you've read the splash message, simply go to your dashboard. And when you do this, you're going to be brought to a page that's going to ask you to change your password. When changing your password, and it's only going to do this the very first time that you log into THERAP, please make sure that you change your password to something that you can remember easily. We recommend that you use the same password for THERAP as you do for Paylocity. That way you only have to remember just one bit of information. But it is up to you. You do want to make sure that you add at least one capital letter and a few numbers. It is case sensitive as well, so make sure that you jot down whatever the password is that you're using. Once you get into THERAP, once you've logged in, you're going to come to your dashboard. Now my dashboard looks a little bit different than yours because I have a little more access to things. But the first thing that I want you to do once you've logged into THERAP is I want you to come down on the left-hand side to a place called Settings. I want you to click on Settings. I want you to find where it says Test Mode, and I want you to turn Test Mode on. Once you have Test Mode on, it's going to indicate it up here with an exclamation point, and it'll say Test Mode. And also sometimes the screen will change colors. Not always, but sometimes. We're going to be working in test mode today so that any data we record will not be real data. So it's very important that you keep this in test mode so that we're not documenting real data into the system. We're just documenting our practice data. Once you've done that, go ahead and go to your to-do list and stop there.